Hello, my friends. Katie Day with the Move Me to Texas team here with another episode of the Move Me to Texas podcast. I am joined today by Anneka. I like how you only have a first name on your little name tag there, but Anneka Harralson, one of our agents on the team. What's going on? How's your day going?
Hello, going well. Thinking about a nighttime espresso, so gonna be great. A little nighttime espresso.
Like you would drink espresso right now?
I sure would. At this hour?
Full caffeine?
Yeah.
You're a psychopath, really?
Yeah, I mean, it just tastes good, so.
I mean, it does taste good, but like if I were to drink espresso right now, I wouldn't sleep.
I'll sleep eventually. It'll be fine.
Sleep when I'm dead.
Yeah.
Well, we've got another surprise guest today, Paige Bowman.
Yeah.
What's up, Paige?
What is up? I support you, Anneka. I could go for a nighttime espresso.
Thank you.
Just like a little bit of steamed oat milk.
Oh my God, yeah. I go the coconut milk route, so.
You know, whatever. Alternative milk substance you drink and consume.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. I'm in North Carolina right now, so traveling lender.
It's even later.
Yeah, it is.
That's why it's so dark.
That or there's no light turned on in our hotel room. Anyways, so Houston Rodeo kicked off. I was just reading an article on HBJ, the Houston Business Journal, that ticket sales right now are 7% lower than 2019. But it's still obviously going to bring like a ton of economic activity to the Houston area. Have y'all been to the rodeo yet?
I haven't yet, but I have plans to next week.
What are you going for?
I'll be going to see Khalid.
Okay. I believe you had mentioned that earlier today to me.
I had.
And I completely forgot, so my apologies there, but that's exciting.
Yeah.
Have you been to the Houston Rodeo before, Anneka?
I never have. No. So, because I moved here and then it was canceled consistently. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm really excited. It'll be my first go at the Houston Rodeo.
All right, you got to go early.
Yes.
You've got to eat carnival food.
Fried. All of the
turkey
fried
leg.
foods. Fried.
Well, the turkey leg doesn't have to be fried. But yeah, eat some fried food, eat some turkey legs, drink
Get
some...
a $16 beer.
Classic.
Yeah,
You'll have to send me all your recs, all your specific recs. I'll have to get them.
Well, I'm a little disappointed because today we were actually going to go shoot some content at the rodeo and go eat fried food and do like a whole thing. But it's like freezing and raining out. So it didn't happen today. And I don't know if it'll happen just with like travel and, you know, everyone's schedules. But that was going to be fun. So I would definitely go early to watch the actual rodeo because there is an actual rodeo. I didn't understand that my first year here. But that's better than the concert, in my opinion.
I grew up going to rodeos every year, so I am very familiar and do love rodeos. Just hadn't been to this one yet.
Oh, Mike, I didn't see these comments. Mike's around. Paige, he loves your sweater.
Thank you.
I think he wants one of them. Yeah.
I heard that as well. I heard he's needing one.
Anyways, so Houston Rodeo is one of the most attended events in Houston. Attendance for 2019 totaled nearly 2.51 million people, which was the second highest. The highest was in 2017. How many people do you think was the highest amount, Paige?
2.51 million was the second highest. 2.3 million. Was it 3 million?
Well, no, it would be higher than 2.5.
I know. So I'm saying, like, was it like 3 million people?
Oh, you think it's 3? Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, it's only 2.61, which was in 2017.
Wow. So just
a lot of people.
1 million people more.
Yeah. I mean, I would assume at a certain point you can't fit any more people into the into NRG. But in 2019, the total economic activity was $391 million.
Dang.
So, like, how crazy is that? Like 2020 and 2021, no rodeo. It's like
that puts it into perspective.
It's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Can't even count that high. But yeah, the total amount of people that entered the grounds this first week was 743,000, and in 2019 it was 802,000. So, I would say it's not a significant decrease in the amount of people attending. Are you going to the Rodeo at all, Paige?
I am. I'm going on Friday.
Awesome. That's
Bundy takeover.
Are you going with Andrea?
I am not. Is Andrea going?
Andrea will be there, I think, with her.
Andrea, if you're out there, we must meet up. Shelby and I are going, and I am slightly excited.
Oh, yeah, it's exciting. All right. In other news, did you know that there is a United States Football League?
United States Football League.
USFL?
Yes.
You knew this?
I did. Because there's a United States Women's Football League.
Well, the USFL is new.
Oh.
And
so maybe I didn't know.
I don't know. I mean, that's how you just were very...
well, because there's a USWFL. So I just assumed that they were...
Yeah, you assumed. It's cool. So the Houston Gamblers just released their 2022 season. And it's a 10-week season. 8 of them will be... 10-week season. All of them will be televised and streamed on Peacock. So yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Pretty solid.
Oh, you know
I wonder how it'll take off.
I just bought these for someone yesterday.
Advertisement.
Yeah. I wish, and for those of you out there listening that are in marketing and advertising, I wish that when I purchase things, they would stop showing me the ads for them, because I've already got it, or I've already purchased it.
I've already spent the money.
Yeah. So like, can we do better on ads? That's one of my questions.
Look, there's a price drop. You got to get more today.
Yeah. Right. So it's interesting. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I know that there was the other football league in Houston. I forgot what it was called. The Roughnecks.
That one I did know about.
Yeah.
Because I had a friend that played on that.
But here's the United States Football League uniform reveal.
Wow, uniform reveal.
Pew, pew, pew.
Look, they're white and red and black.
Very on brand.
Hashtag all in the details. So yeah, gamblers. I don't know how I feel about that. The gamblers.
Yet we have no casinos.
But Kevin Sumlin's going to be the coach. So that's interesting. But yeah.
I like the Texas G logo combination, though.
Yeah.
That works for me.
Okay. I'll let them know that you approve.
Thanks.
I'll let them know that you approve. So yeah, that is all that I kind of had. The other thing that I had seen was basically this Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs announced their Homeowner Assistance Fund is recently available as of like a week ago for homeowners who need help with past due mortgage payments related to hardships with COVID. And they can receive up to $40,000 for past due mortgage payment assistance and $25,000 for past due property taxes and delinquent HOA or condo fees. So I thought that was interesting. Houston real estate news.
I think it's smart. I am sorry, you keep moving the screen. I'm trying to read it. It's the income limit below the 100% area median income limit. Or income means it's pretty low for the average area. Fort Bend has one of the highest area median incomes.
Yeah.
Fort Bend County does, but very interesting that they capped it at that. Normally it's like 125%. So
yeah. I mean, I think also like for them to be coming out with this program, 2 years in, the people that are hardest hit, at this point, would likely fall into that category. So
yeah, definitely.
So if you are behind on your mortgage payments and HOA and taxes and stuff like that, Google the Texas Homeowner Assistance Fund, TXHAF, and you can get more information, or you can go to TexasHomeownerAssistance.com to read more about like eligibility, submit an application, and there's also a phone number you can call. But they're partnering with a lot of different organizations, to help people become more aware of this and hopefully apply.
That's awesome.
Anyways, what's new in the mortgage world?
Gosh, what isn't new? All of the things.
Okay.
Rates are kind of holding steady. That's the question that everyone asks me, so I'll just lead with that. Rates are holding steady. We will likely continue to see a pretty slow uptick. And the Feds are meeting next week, I believe it is. I'll confirm and drop that in the comments. But and so we will see definitely an uptick in rates then. I will also be interested to see what happens in the next probably week to 2 weeks with the oil and gas. Not to talk about it any more than it's already being talked about on my Facebook feed, but
I think,
yeah. But it will definitely impact interest rates, and I'll be interested to see if it actually positively impacts interest rates.
Let's say what would that look like, right? Like,
yeah, because people will start pulling the money. I'll be interested to see like how the stock market fares with all of this, because typically when the stock market does poorly, people are pulling their money out of the stocks and putting it into bonds, which is how we price mortgage-backed securities, which is how we price interest rates. So when you see something like war or something like the pandemic, where people were just pulling all of their money out of the stocks and putting it into bonds, which is safer money, that's why you saw part of the reason why interest rates declined, also because the Feds helped it do that. But I'll be interested to see if they kind of actually rates go down versus up like the Feds predicted they would do in March.
Well, and then I guess kind of the Houston side of things, right? So like you're talking more like macro, like, national numbers, things like that. But then like Houston, like how do we get impacted then if like oil gets impacted? And then I would assume the price of, a barrel will increase, right? And that's normally good for the Houston economy. But then like,
yes,
the impact of everything else with Russia and, oil and all of the things, negatively impact. So it's like, it's definitely going to be interesting to see kind of what happens there.
Yeah. And we're at a 13-year high, I think at like $130 a barrel right now. So definitely if you're in the Houston area, good for our economy, as we know from any oil boom that we see. So, yeah.
I remember back when I first moved here in 2011, I lived in Midtown and was friends with a lot of engineers, and like they would always refer to the cost of things by barrel. And around that time, it was like $100 a barrel. So they're like, oh, we just spent a barrel last night. Not a big deal. Things changed over the past 10 years. But yeah. So that's always a fun memory of my oil and gas runs. Anyways, so yeah, as far as I guess like mortgage applications and stuff like that, like what are y'all seeing? Is demand still high? I know a couple weeks ago everyone had a little bit of a scare with interest rates topping 4%.
Yeah.
What are y'all
seeing? Mortgage applications are still up. And so, which is great because we know that the demand is still there. And I know that the demand is still there is because I'm literally talking to people. I probably talked to 20 new people today that are relocating from other states to Texas. So we know that that's still a thing. But also we know that there are people that have still not been able to purchase a home from 2020 and 2021 that have still been actively looking. And then we know that there are people that have been in plans and just people just looking in general. I mean, what is there, like a month of inventory on the market? So it's just, trying to find that right one.
Yeah. I think as of Monday, we're sitting at like 1.3 months. We had a slight uptick in inventory from last week to this week. So it'll certainly be interesting to see how things progress.
How do you think that is going to impact the spring? Do you think the spring market is going to impact it enough to where we see a slight assistance in the amount of people that are looking for homes versus the people that have a home?
So
Do you think more people are going to list their home in the spring?
Okay, I was like, that's what I thought that you were asking, but you kind of took a roundabout approach on that one.
Words are hard.
Words are hard. No, I think that we will see a slight uptick in inventory as far as people listing their home, but I think there's still a lot of people out there that get nervous about listing their home for sale because they don't know where they'd go.
Yes.
Right. Like that's probably one of the main, things that we see. But then like we also have clients, and Anneka can attest to this, that are like, hey, I just moved in, in the past 2 to 3 years, and I'm thinking I might want to sell. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I might want to move somewhere else.
Yeah. Wanting to take advantage of everything too, because they're just saying, oh, well, I could sell my house for so much more, so I might as well. And just fingers crossed they'll be able to find something that works for them to move to.
I talked to somebody today he's bought his home 2 years ago, right before the start of the pandemic in January of 2020. And he's selling his home, paying off all of his debts, going to have enough to put 5% down, and basically buying a $150,000 more home. And he's still going to be saving money every month. I was like, that's super smart. He's going to be completely debt free, which is cool.
That's good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We love debt free ish.
Okay, Dave.
Ish.
Then you added the ish, so then I'll take it. Take that back. I take that back. Cool. What else, Anneka? What's happening in your world?
Just a lot of people wanting to go out and view homes, seeing a lot of multiple offer situations for sure. Still, whether it be single family or multifamily, but a lot of people looking at multifamily properties too are up against a lot of cash buyers still. What I'm saying is a lot of the offer prices that are coming in are even higher over asking than I saw, a few months ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that I think is interesting is like, I know we think that our market here is busy, right? And that what's going on, Misha? And things like that. I was talking to a friend that works in Dallas, and they had a property that their buyer was interested in that was listed at $525. They went in at like 6 and change, and it ended up going under contract, from what the agent said, at like the listing agent said at like $700K or something like that.
That's crazy.
Hold on, let me see if I can get the exact number.
That is wild. I will sell all of my homes right now.
Well, and that's here's the thing though, right? Is like we're not seeing that as much here. You know, and like I think that like when you're looking, if you're thinking about moving to Texas, right? I think as far as market competition, like Austin would be the worst, right? Mm-hmm. And then following by Dallas Fort Worth, and then us, and then San Antonio, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But listed at $525, buyers were willing to pay $650. Highest offer was $707.
Wow.
Like, and that's where it's interesting, and I'd be interested to hear how you guys would respond to this. I feel like a lot of buyers that I've been in conversations with or on consultations with, they ask, so how much more over list am I going to have to pay?
Yeah. And it's so hard to know. It's like, and too, if, they're worried about the appraisal and not wanting to waive that contingency, then we got to be real close to market value. We got to be sticking with that. So that's one disadvantage if you're not going with cash or have that extra cash on hand, for sure.
Yeah.
I agree. We see a lot of people that are, well, how do we strengthen our offer besides putting more money down, mm-hmm. or besides paying X amount over? And so we're now doing 12 to 14 day closes. And so, which is virtually almost
Tell me more.
Cash.
Tell me more about 12 to 14 day closes.
So it just gives people the competitive advantage of going in, and we have to have that conversation with them like, hey, we're going to be moving quickly. You might have to pay a little bit more for an appraisal, but you've gotten a home for, instead of doing a 30-day close like everybody else is having to do, or a 20-day close even, you're going in and almost offering close to same as cash, right? And the good news is that most of our buyers that are now doing those, that are qualified to do those, it allows people the opportunity to go in and win these offers that are not having to go $100 and whatever $80,000 over over list.
So I guess just like logistics details. If someone was looking to close that quickly, they would already be underwritten, pre-approved.
Yep. So they'd already be at least pre-approved. All docs would be collected. We would have everything, all of our ducks in a row. Like we would need everything. It traditionally could be VA, which has been really good because unfortunately sellers are not seeing the benefit of taking and accepting a VA buyer, which because they don't feel like they have skin in the game. I beg to differ. They have more skin in the game than literally any other offers than they have. But yeah, so it's just been giving people that might not have the advantage to go in and have the advantage. Now, a jumbo loan, obviously, that would be something that we'd have to discuss, wouldn't qualify for that. And then any grant programs. But VA, for the most part, conventional almost always, and FHA almost always.
That's awesome. Cool. That's huge.
Yeah.
Good to know. So if you are thinking about purchasing a home, make sure you ask if you can get pre-approved, fully pre-approved, underwritten pre-approved before you go out and start looking, because that can speed up the process. So one of the things that I wanted to just share real quick, and it's just gonna be a bunch of numbers, so I apologize for that, but let me pull up the numbers matrix. Here it is. Okay. So I had posted about this before, and basically that by way of homes on the market, when we looked at Januaries for the past basically 6 years, the amount of homes that hit the market really didn't change significantly between 2017 and 2022. Right? Crazy. Like, so if you look at January, it's like 10,000, 10,000, 11,000, 12,000, 10,000, 10,000, right? So if we look at February, we kind of are seeing the same thing. Last year, we had only 9,100 listings at the market, but we had, 10,473, which is kind of in line, to maybe some previous years, right? Yep. And so when we look at that, and then when we think about how many homes we actually have on the market today, basically, there's 12,900-ish houses on the market today. That means that almost every single home that hit the market in February sold, right? So it's like not necessarily an inventory issue as much as it is a speed issue, right? So as the homes hit the market, if you're a buyer out there, you need to be ready to, make a decision and make a move. There isn't like, hey, I'm going to sleep on this or I'll wait till next week. There's a few properties out there that have been sitting, for a minute, right? But like, if something hits the market today, there's a really, really high probability it's going to sell quickly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which is good to know if you're a seller, but then also like you were saying, well, where do you go? And I think it's the strategy of trying to figure out, can you qualify for a bridge loan, which means taking equity out of your home before you sell it? Do you qualify to maybe rent an Airbnb for 30 days to ensure that you give yourself enough time to find a house? How do you leverage that? Do you do a lease back? Because as a seller, you might have a little bit more of an upper hand. So do you ask for a lease back? I definitely think it's interesting. Also, it's very dark in here. I did not realize how dark it was. Just look behind me.
Yeah. I mean, it is. So got a question on loan. Basically, if you're about to pay off a loan, would you pay it off to get it off the books or keep going with minimum payments? Planning on purchasing an investment property potentially later this year, need to save for another deposit. So the question is there any benefit to keeping an existing loan or close it out and then apply for a new loan?
I guess what my question would be is, why are you paying it off if the rate's 4.3%? Sorry, I'm just reading it through. Because your rate is likely going to be higher on the investment property. So why would you pay that loan off and not hold on to your liquid to maximize the amount of interest that you're paying or decrease the amount of interest that you're paying year over year? That would be my question. to just look and see like why would you pay it off versus why would you keep it? Because the average interest rate for an investment property right now is about 5%. So why would you, put more money down on the investment property to get a lower interest rate? Dave Ramsey, Dinosaur Dave.
Dave, paying it off because I hate debt. Okay, and then the new place you'd move into. So the new place wouldn't be an investment property.
Oh, okay. Well, then that makes
primary,
more sense.
But
I think I would just see like what the interest rates are because, and what that amortization schedule looks like and how much interest you're paying over the life of each loan.
Boom.
Sounds boring, but
amortization schedules. What exciting information to talk about. Greg Goad popping in from Atlanta. He was just in Breckenridge this weekend. Okay. What anything else you guys have?
Annika, anything? I like your shirt. Is that a Nike shirt that I see a Nike logo?
It is. A little polo.
Okay. Little polo action, little polo.
Yeah. Got the white seams ready to go,
I saw that. I was like, okay, snaz.
You popping out?
Yeah. Gosh, can we talk about this?
Yeah. So Greg's asking about investment loan options.
Yes.
It's a good topic.
It's a great topic.
We were supposed to talk about this topic last weekend or 2 weekends ago. So here we go. Paige, tell me about if I were looking to invest, what type of options I would have today.
Yeah. So right now, the ever popular investor cash flow loan, it's been popular for a while amongst investors, but it's becoming more popular amongst us common folk. It is a loan that is based on the cash flow of the property. It's 20% down to 25% down if you're buying a multifamily. And the interest rate is typically like 0.5 to 0.75% higher. And you literally qualify based on if the property cash flows and if you have 6 months reserves on the property that you're buying. It's not a debt to income ratio loan. It's not a how much money do you pull in every month loan. It's is the property a smart investment for the investor? And they're super quick to close and super easy to do.
What's that called again?
It's an investor cash flow loan.
Okay.
But it's called a DSCR.
What am I missing here?
Nothing. You're literally missing nothing, which is so cool. I'm actually in the process of getting one done for a realtor right now because they're like, wait, you don't need to check my tax return? And I'm like, nope. They're like, you don't need to see how much money I make? Nope. You just have to have the money to put down, the 6 months of reserves of the property, and the property has to make sense. So you can't go out and buy a $200,000 home that the mortgage payment is $1,500 and the average rent rate is $1,500 because that's not a cash flow positive loan or
I think
mortgage.
Here's the thing that I find to be difficult for people that are looking to invest in Houston is like, it's difficult to find a cash flowing property in Houston.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I like it.
It's good because it gives people the opportunity, like realtors who might not be able to qualify on paper for loans. That gives you the opportunity to write stuff off and not have to worry about it. It's just like a bank statement loan. It's not ever going to overpopulate or overstimulate because people don't like to pay 5.75% on interest when they could pay 5%. But then some people are like, hey, I didn't want to pay Uncle Sam, $100,000. So this is a much easier route or option. So no judgment if you don't pay anything in taxes. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to judge anybody. Katie, your teeth are so white.
Thanks.
I don't even want to smile. I'm like,
Thanks. I feel self-conscious now. I'm gonna try to talk with my mouth, with my teeth covered. Is this odd? Is that odd?
Should we all talk like that?
No.
Only a little.
No. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's cool. I'm definitely gonna have to look into that more. I found it difficult. And so when I first wanted to start investing in properties, this was back in 2018 where rates were around where they are now-ish. And like, you know, with an investment property, you know, high 4s, low 5% interest rates, like it was very difficult to try to find a rental property. So that's like now why we've gotten kind of into development and other stuff, you know, short-term rentals and stuff like that. Cause like finding a long-term rental was definitely difficult. Greg says he heard about something that's 10% down. Have you heard of anything 10% down?
There are different stuff with like fix and flips that do stuff like that do like these short-term 10% down loans, but the rate, I mean, the points that you pay and the rate on it, it's just like, it's not a long-term hold. If you're buying something to hold it for like 5-10 years, which when you're buying an investment property, you should, you know, if you're buying a long-term rental, right, you should be buying it to hold it for a long time. So, but if you're doing something that's more short-term, then in this market, doing one of those loans could make sense because then you could refinance it in 2 years and you'd have 20% equity. So then it's like, okay, that's a no-brainer.
What you're saying, like Greg's 10% down situation?
Yeah, do the 10% down situation, wait 2 years, have 20% equity.
Huh, that's interesting. I like it.
Getting crafty.
I like it a lot. Okay.
And with a disclaimer, getting crafty within like the laws of the laws of the land. Like,
the laws.
This is not 2007 over here, guys. This isn't the wild, wild west.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Anneka, what would be your piece of advice if someone was looking to buy a home right now in Houston, Texas?
My piece of advice would be to chat with a lender and figure out exactly what your budget is and maybe shoot under when you're looking so that you have the availability to go over ask if need be. And then just being able to get that game plan going from there. And then, I mean, you want to get out there, look at some homes and make a decision pretty quick. So you need to be ready to put that offer in for sure. Because if you wait a day, it might not be there anymore. That's the biggest thing I would say for sure.
Yeah. Paige, you got anything?
Yeah, be flexible. Stop thinking that this is your forever home. It's likely not. So if it's missing a half bath, okay, well then you might need to wait 2 to 5 years and buy a house that has the half bath that you want. Just know that the perfect property literally does not exist. And even if you built a custom home today, tomorrow there would be something better and greater out there that you would want. So I think it's just reminding clients to be flexible with what they're looking at and knowing that, you know, you can change tile and, you know, make the small tweaks to make the home that you like and want.
Mm-hmm.
This is also coming from someone who, you know, is not flexible. So easier said than done. You know what I'm saying, guys?
Do as I say, not as I do.
Not as I do. That's right.
I think you're a pretty flexible person.
Yeah. There's some things that I'm willing to give on. Then there's some things that I'm like, hard stop.
A half bath, for example.
Hard stop.
We
don't have a half bath.
I was gonna say, you don't have a half bath, do you?
We don't have a bath.
No half bath, kill the deal.
Kill it right now. Yeah, I mean, just being flexible, knowing that the paint color is temporary and your cabinet color is temporary, and you can get a new fridge and you can make the home that you want, that you buy the home that you want. Because the memories make the house.
Who knew that Paige was so sentimental? Listen to you. Listen to you. Cool. Well, I appreciate that. Flexibility, I think, is super key. And Anneka, great tip there. As far as, you know, potentially setting your top limit of your budget underneath that pre-approval amount. I think it does give you a little bit of wiggle room. I think adding on to that too is once you figure out what you can afford and what you want to spend on a monthly basis, because those aren't always the same, right? So what you can afford, what you're pre-approved for, right? And then what you're willing to spend, you need to like let your lender and realtor know what that budget is. Because as you're going to look, it's easy to get caught up and being like, oh my goodness, this house is perfect. I love it. I'll pay anything for it. And like, if it's above that budget, like we, a lot of times have turn to clients and been like, this is like, you know, X amount more per month than you wanted to spend. Or this is X amount more, you know, per year than you're not per year, like sales price than you wanted to spend. Like, what are we doing here? Right. So make sure that your trusted advisors know what your max budget is to keep you within the guardrails.
Yeah, definitely. And having guardrails is good, not just being like, I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
Because ultimately everybody cares what their payment is. So
I mean, I had that moment when we were looking to buy our house and we were like looking at our max, pre-approval amount, and we're like, trying to scrape together money for the down payment and all these things. And we're like, what are we doing? Like, this isn't the goal of what we want to spend. This is just the limit. So like, let's like pull it back a little bit. And this was back in, for our first home back in like 2015. So the market was a lot different then than it is now. But yeah, we were like, what are we doing here? So
yeah.
Okay.
Been there, done that, got the t-shirt.
Yeah, it's actually that was great. Wonderful. Well, I appreciate y'all and your knowledge and sharing. Anneka, where can people find you on the interwebs?
Find me on Instagram at Anneka_Harralson. Just there, my name. And also on YouTube, Mike and Anneka or Anneka Harralson. Both. Check us out.
Awesome. Paige, what's the best place to find you on the interwebs?
Oh, I was going to be ready. I was ready, but I wasn't. H-Town Mortgage Chick on Instagram. I try to drop some daily content bombs, just typically 10-second clips about what you should do when you're buying a home. Or just, and slide into my DMs if you have any questions.
Slide on in. All right, y'all. It's been real. I'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
See ya.